Here we go. And we're back.
All right.
Season 2025, which is what? Season 2, episode 3?
No, I think this is season 3.
Season 3? Whatever.
Well, 2.5.
Yeah, 2 didn't really exist.
Today,
So
somebody might go through the bowels of the internet and find the lost tapes, but
lost Beatles tapes. So you think your car is fast? Do we still?
well, I went on a long, drawn-out quest for going slower. I don't know about you guys.
Well, Dan? What is this? What is this hat you're wearing? What's going on here?
Oh yeah, my Evo spec hat. Oh yeah, don't need that anymore.
Ooh, right in the garbage.
Yeah, actually, I threw it away today, but I got it back out to commemorate the occasion.
You could donate it to some third world country like they do with the losing team winner Super Bowl T-shirts.
yes, the winning championship Super Bowl team, but yet it is the wrong team on the hat.
Yeah,
that's kind of what happened.
Oh man, boys, we have taken too many days off, so we need to update.
I don't even remember what we've said. Like it's
the last one we did was with Brooke Barini before the last Shift Sector.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do remember that.
Yep. So since then, I went to that Shift Sector in where was it? Hondo, and fresh transmission. Put all new synchros in, and I could not find third gear and fifth gear.
You couldn't find first gear either.
That ground a little bit, but that showed up mid event. I don't know what happened.
Because it had been so long since you've driven it, right? Forgot how to drive it.
I mean, I got a new clutch. I got that RPS clutch. So gone are the Tiltons. I got, the transmission was completely refreshed because I blew it to smithereens at 2K. But it was just, I don't know what the problem was. So it's going back to Bill Rader. You know what he said? The center housing, the oil cooling part of the gearbox, it was not released in customs. So he sent it back to me without that. So we were always planning on taking the gearbox back out at the end of the season once that part arrived, but it's back now. So he's going to go ahead and put the oil cooling back into the gearbox. I don't think that's I don't think that's obviously was the problem with not getting into those gears. So it was under load, under full wide open throttle. It would not shift into those two gears. So
he still went 200 miles an hour skipping 2 gears.
Yeah, well, I did that. And AIM was like, "Oh, that's cool, but don't do that again." They didn't want me to lug it so hard, it was like what, first to second gear, and then as soon as I hit fifth, I went from second to fifth, it went down to like 4,000 RPM or something, and then just and went up to 200, which was pretty good. So the motor's real strong, but they're like, don't do that again. We even disconnected flat foot shifting. We disconnected that. We took the sensor off the pedal even, and so I just went went back to old school, row in the gears, lift, shift, then lift, and then bring it down to 4,000 RPM. That was the only way it would go into gear. And by the time I got into fifth, the track was done. I was out of room, so I could never get into sixth gear.
Don't ask me how, but I went 1-2-5 at that Wanna Go Fast race in Dallas a few years ago on accident. And I couldn't figure out what the heck happened because I had on my dash, the Motec dash, and I was seeing the boost.
Yeah.
It was like, well, it's making 30, 32, 33 pounds of boost and car not going anywhere. Like, I don't get it. So I let out of it and then, looked at the data logs and it was like, you decided to go to fifth, not third. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I meant to do it, but I couldn't get into third. And once I realized, oh, I'm in fifth, I just stayed in it to see what would happen. Went 201.
Never
That was
left.
your typical practice of just never let out, right? Just
Right. And I ended up getting third place both days at Shift Sector. So I am third place in points.
You have points, yes.
Yeah, I got 6 points for that. So, at least I got something.
Thing would have gone 220 if you'd had those 2 gears.
Joe he's got the record at 210.8, I think, and I'm at 209 in some change. So as soon as I told him, hey, I went 200 in 4 gears, he's like, oh crap.
He's like, I'm gonna have to go faster.
I got to put my car back together.
There's that great
what's
meme.
The record, is that a manual?
It's the manual record in the half mile is 210.8. Yeah. Yep. So, he's like, oh man, Ryan was like, let's put all those shifts together and you'll make a full run.
Were they there?
No, they were not there. Emery was on call. They were fantastic. They were available. So we were sending logs. Mark Evans from Driver Source was my tech for the weekend. And we were sending logs. And actually, we weren't even sending them. They were logging in TeamViewer or whatever. And, the motor looks great. The motor's strong. It's just the gearbox just would not work for me. So,
are you happy with your turbos still?
I'm not unhappy. I think they actually hit harder now. Maybe the 12 injectors are helping that. Dan, would you even know why they run a little better on this setup now?
Well, it kind of goes along with the reasons why I threw my hat earlier. We were getting parts and being given OEM parts and being told that they were ported or like ported heads, which we didn't have, and cams that we didn't have. So, I mean, the whole setup was, in your car, like in your car and my car, the whole setup was not what we were told that we were buying. So it's not surprising that it works a lot better now.
Yeah. Well, that for the simple fact it was built right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, also, we took the numeric out and I put in a stock 997 long throw shifter, and I like it. I like it.
I still have the stock shifter in mine too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Numeric is a nice shifter. Obviously, it's a really machined. It's a nice part, but I think that numeric is really just for street cars.
I had a hard time driving your car back the time I collected it for you.
Yeah.
Shifter. It's like, okay, I have to remember how to drive a dog box again. Okay, I can do that. But then the shifter was definitely strange.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, Rob with RPS, he drove it. He's like, ooh, I don't like that shifter. Joe got in. He's like, ooh, I don't like that shifter. So I think I'm just going to leave the stock shifter in it.
And you have the fancy red shifter boot, right?
I did. I bought the fancy red shifter. Yeah. It's just a looks thing, but it looks nice.
I mean, it does look nice. I like it.
So new clutch, new shifter, numeric cables, left them in there. New gearbox. So Bill is we've got time. We've got 4 weeks before the Indianapolis, the May Indianapolis.
Oh my gosh, it's already 4 weeks away. Oh.
So he should get that back to me. Hopefully fix it. You know what the guys at AIM are saying? They're saying you should just get a 997 turbo gearbox.
Yep, you should.
Because they don't have this issue I have. I'm the only one who's having this problem.
Well, I don't know. I still think your clutch is messed up, but I could be wrong.
New clutch?
I don't know. Yeah. But the gearbox could be messed up too. But it's. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how do we know? I mean, we've been through so much of this stuff, and we always make guesses, but we don't really know.
Well, you know what fixed the problem was the dog ring on third gear. So that fixed it. So he Bill is going to go back to the dog ring on third gear. Because right now the new setup was all synchros again.
Oh, well, that's kind of nice for a quality of life thing, but
Right, but the car is pretty much an event car. And now that I have a second 911, you know,
I'm kind of in the same boat.
yeah,
I only have one,
yeah.
the different one.
Well, you've got two, but yeah, no, I'm enjoying the spare 911. So I ended up getting that 996, the turbo, a couple weeks ago. Black, nice. I love it. It's got a Tech Art kit on it. It's a 700 package, proto tune, some upgraded turbos.
Evo spec.
Nope. It's not an Evo spec car. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next Shift Sector. So, what's the latest with your car, Dan?
Well, I sent monies to AIM,
Okay.
and they have ordered parts. So I don't really know.
Well, the great thing about those guys is that once they start, they knock it out, right? So depending on when they can put it together, you know, you have a good chance of making one or two events this year.
Yeah, May is iffy, and there's as iffy as in no chance. But there's a lot of stuff I got to do. I mean, the car's been sitting for a couple of years. You know, offhand, I probably gonna put fresh tires on it. I don't want to be on those tires that have been sitting on it forever.
Yeah.
Fuel system needs some work. I need to exercise the silly rabbit demons and get that last part out of there. AIM has a replacement fuel basket setup that'll work with my pumps and injector dynamics controller. So I'm going to do that because at the end of my tenure racing that car a couple of years ago, the issue was I was getting fuel pressure drop out, and it was, fuel basket in the tank was emptying, and it wasn't feeding right. So I'm going to go through there and clean up the fuel system stuff. Probably need to update the ECU. It's going to get retuned for the new setup. I need to get new turbos. I sent my old ones in, a while ago, and so I gotta pester Robert about those. I have no idea what I'm gonna get. The tech has changed in the last couple of years, so there's newer stuff available than what I had.
Would you consider the 9564s like I have?
I don't know if I'm gonna go quite that big. But yeah, I mean, I'd consider it for sure. Like you're saying, it's an event car, and I'm not going to be driving it around, like I didn't used to drive it around that much anyway, but, I don't really care about turbo lag in it. But, that's a 1,800 horsepower worth of turbo setup, and I don't know that I'm going to be targeting making 1,800. I might be more like 1,500 to 1,600. So I may just go.
On there right now? It's 8264s.
Yeah, I had 8264, 682 AR turbine housings on it. I don't know. There's options now. So
the big question is, who's going to tune it?
I'm assuming Emery.
Oh, good. Okay. Look,
that was the deal that I had to make because AIM said, if we're going to build your engine and you're going to manage the rest of the project, we don't normally like to do that, but we know that you're not dumb, and we trust Steve, right? So if Steve's going to be your technical side of it, then that's fine. Or mechanical side, technical mechanical. That's a word. Techno-mechanical. Then they were okay working with me on the project. So I'm kind of locked in there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're going to change their minds. There were things about it that were kind of a non-starter for me, which was the way that Emery locks out his maps. But I think what has transpired in that amount of time is they've exposed some of the maps, which the things that I didn't want to change what AFR the car was running. I didn't want to change the timing maps. I didn't want to change a bunch of stuff, but I did want to be able to say, turn it up or turn it down, or be a little bit more or less aggressive with traction control, things that were like, race day stuff that you didn't spend a lot of time tuning on a dyno. I wanted to be able to change those things, and that is actually a feature in Cyvex, and I know Joe was saying that they were going to do that. So
okay, that's
I'm expecting that at least, I'll be able to say, oh, boost down, boost up. I mean, like the way they tune those things is like, each map setting that you're at is, whatever peak load is, like 400 kPa or 500 kPa, and then they put a subtraction modifier on it. So it drops at 150 kPa, or it drops at 100 kPa, or if you're all in, it doesn't drop at any, and it just runs the map as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really at least the way the cal switch stuff is configured under the covers. So I wanted to be able to set that modifier so I could make a little bit more power in whatever gear, or a little bit less power in whatever gear, and things like that, without overshooting the pain tolerance of the engine, essentially making too much power for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, well, that's good, because I have been to 4 events now with Emery being available and tuning, and he's great. I really do enjoy working with them. So that being said, when we're at events together, he'll be logging into my machine while you'll be, futzing with yours. So that's what makes your heart content, and that's awesome. I know Taylor and I are just going to stand back and say, I just want more power.
I mean, I'll probably let them handle it for the most part, but there's just something, I kind of have a underlying fascination with these things anyway. And if I can't even get in it and look at it, it doesn't make me happy. So
looking at it was never a problem, I don't think, right?
Oh yeah, you can't even look at them when they're locked up that way.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can look at the logs and you can see what it does.
Yeah.
So you know kind of what's happening, but you can't actually like see what the tables look like when they're locked.
Okay.
I gotta work on the intercoolers too. I'm not happy with the intercoolers, and the car had like a weird battery drain issue. I think what happened is the way my ice tank is installed in the front nose, that water got into the amplifier, the factory audio amplifier.
Oh, really?
Because I had no audio in the well, I thought that maybe the amplifier had just failed, but the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I've been dumping a little bit of extra ice/water down there. I'll bet you I fried it, and that's probably what was causing my battery drain issue as well as the audio issue. And because like even when the car was completely turned off, like key off, key not in it, parked, I was getting random popping noises out of the speakers.
Oh, wow.
Which, as you know, should never happen. Like,
sure,
unless something is effed.
It always was a little unnerving with the amount of electronics that we had in the frunk, in addition to the ice and the water. I mean, it's not a great combo.
Yeah, I still have my air-to-air intercoolers, so the possibility remains.
Oh, okay, you still have them.
Yeah, I mean, I still own them. They're in my garage, right?
Yeah, okay.
So the possibility remains that I'll decide to go back and put methanol on it again and ditch the air-to-water intercoolers and just run it on air. I mean, I don't know. Like, I haven't figured it out yet. There's a few variables. I never was quite happy with those intercoolers. They never cooled as much as I was expecting them to.
Well, I think, I guess, Todd, I want to say you had to increase your lines, right? The line size?
Yeah, I have the entire old system, here in my garage.
Oh, the entire thing. Yeah, because I think when I talked to Ryan one time, he's like, yeah, your lines aren't big enough either. Yep. So, because mine didn't ever really seem to get as cool as it should either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Now they're after they replaced the system in my car, they love the air temps now.
Did they use the same cores and they just it completely got ripped out?
It's all brand new cores, tank, lines, pump.
I think we're using my same cores.
Okay, because if you have their cores, they're fine. But I didn't have. I mean, mine's 10 years old. My system was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And you had your intercoolers built long before we had ours done.
Yeah, they were built in 15.
They were built by Evo too. So they were not as good as what we have, but the things I was going to look at were the lines, like you guys mentioned, and then I was thinking about replacing the pump too. Like,
yeah, the pump is also.
Yeah, I just don't, I never researched it myself. I said, okay, you're going to build this for me. You know what you're doing. Go ahead and build it. And he did, but it didn't work as well as I was hoping. So
yeah, and it's important because you could scrub 100 horsepower at the end of the run if you're getting hot.
Yeah.
So are you still on 12 injectors?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to change that. I got 1700s and 1300s, so I have 3000. That seems like enough.
Yeah, that's good. And then
I could put the new 2600s in it and run the 1300s as primaries, but
I don't think you have to. The guys kept mine because I had 6 only, right? And there were 2600s. They're like, well, we'll just keep the 2600s for the big power. We'll do the 13s for the idle. And so that's where I am. I'm sure I'm overkill right now. I bet my duty cycle's in the 60s,
Man, you know what? I don't even know what mine are. It seems like last time I looked, well, I've got factory injectors as my idle driving.
Yeah, you've got high pressure.
Other ones were quite large. Like, I want to say I never had a problem with how much fuel we could run.
I don't remember what injectors they are, but I'm pretty sure they were like ID 1700s or something like that. Or maybe they were, because I think after you got them, they came out with the 2600s. But the 2000s that ID had been selling for years, they were not MTBE compatible, and there was some other issues with just flexibility of fuel that you could run through them. So a lot of people ditched those because they were tricky. And you go to a race and you need to buy fuel. You don't always get the same fuel that you are used to running. So
yeah, I was trying to look up my old.
So
ID 2600.
That's what you are. That's you.
Oh yeah, you have the same thing he does.
And when we did this originally, I want to say that we replaced the entire fuel system to make it fresh, and used whatever the latest Porsche parts.
Yeah, I remember you looking for a high pressure fuel pump because you wanted a new one.
I think all my stuff has at least whatever the best you could get from Porsche at the time. I haven't followed up on what any of the revisions were. I mean, I know at one point the 997.2 high pressure pump was superseded by the 991s, but it seems like there was a difference between the 991.1 and the .2, and I want to say, if I remember right, we did the .2 part number, and I think that's what we did with all the injectors too. I don't remember. It's been a long time, it seems like.
So Taylor, what's going on with yours?
Last I heard was Emre was machining my block.
Okay.
And that's
so. My question: does that mean that if once he's working on it, then he finishes it? I wonder.
Well, I can't tell you what's gonna happen. I can only tell you what has happened. Yeah. So that's. I mean, I don't know. I've been away from Shift Sector so long that waiting a little more time, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's okay, and I'm not stressed. I'm not like, I got to make May's event because I don't. I mean.
Yeah. Now refresh our memory. Obviously, a fresh motor build, but are they doing anything different other than just dropping it in and tuning?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Doing all of it.
Okay.
Like.
It could because it's an ES 1500 package, right?
Yeah.
Turbos.
I mean, that's it really sucks when you do something and you tell the shop, look, I want the best of everything, and you do it all, and then you have to redo it. And so I'm telling myself, learning curve, we're making some upgrades, and then just to have to redo it all again.
Yeah.
So I was like, the only way I can get excited and justify it is if we plan for an upgrade. I can't just replace what I had again.
Are you going to be the first?
I think one of the only things we're keeping are the intercooler cores.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, it's a new motor. I'm going Garrett's because Garrett turbos because that's what they use on that kit.
Yeah.
We're having to get rid of my entire exhaust and header setup because what was there was not good.
Yeah.
Okay,
so your air to water is going to be okay because they're going to they're going to use the core, so that means they're going to redo the lines, new tank,
new pump, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a 997.2?
I mean, I'm going to do a new intake manifold too.
Oh yeah, the ES one, yeah. So is there a .2, a 997.2 ES 1500 out there with that using that gearbox? Because that's a different animal.
So yeah, LCE's car, the Silver Bullet, they call it, who used to be, what's his name, Adams, old 997.2 that was like the miracle car.
Okay.
Whatever, 15 years ago.
Oh.
He was beating well, they still have that car, and their car is an event-only car. I mean, they don't have side mirrors. I want to say their doors are carbon fiber. You know,
I think it's an air shifted. No, it's not
racing seats or whatever.
Right.
So it's not. No. It's the PDK. But you know, they raced that thing on that setup for I want to say 3 or 4 years, and it's still running. But I think they may have retired the car. I can't remember exactly what they were doing with it. But yeah, it's a similar setup. But it is an old setup, so there should be some improvements to my stuff.
Okay, so that blue car is obviously
the gearbox. That's
car.
No, it's silver.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the blue LCE car.
LCE Silver Bullet.
Oh, okay.
Is it in the U.S. or in Europe?
It is in Europe. I don't know if they brought it stateside or not.
Yeah,
you know, there's an LCE Performance in Arizona now.
Yeah, I think I'm familiar with that European car.
It's got red wheels.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about it a while back because, you know, it was like, well, that transmission's working for them, but I think what it ended up being was that it throws airs on them too. They just don't care because they weren't trying to drive it on the street.
I don't think it was just an air thing with Taylor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was locking up.
Here is it's this car. His screen name. You remember Longboarder?
Yeah.
On like 6 feet. It's his old car.
Okay. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, but that's the fastest 997.2 in the world.
Okay. What did it do in the half?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 215 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was up there.
You have to convert it because it's kilometers. They always post. So I can't remember exactly. It might have been 214 or 215.
Divide by 1.6. Yes.
Okay. So let's say.
So yeah, I mean, my car should run better.
It better. They're not going to give it to you unless it does.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, it's basically I'm going to have the same setup, less the transmission, as Dave Briggs. I mean, it's the same engine build.
Okay. Because he's
I
a 991.
I don't expect it to run as fast as his because the 991 transmissions are better. But it should run better than it has.
Yeah. Awesome. So who knows? Maybe there's a slight chance that you guys might make at least an event or two this year. That would be so awesome. I mean, if we could at least do Abilene together.
Yeah. When is Abilene?
It's in October.
There's a pretty darn good chance I'll be ready for that.
There's May, Indy, and then Kansas, and then Indy again in August, and then Abilene. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned the Hondo the improvements are great. The traction was fantastic. Of course, I'm only rear-wheel drive, but.
Well, what did they do? Did they like blow all the dust off the track and put some compound down, or like nobody ever really said?
No compound. I don't think they just did a lot more. I don't know, like they took a pressure washer to it or something. But it was good.
But I've seen a lot of people say that it was a lot better.
Yeah, it was. It was almost my favorite.
I've seen that feedback.
I probably should. Yeah, I could have broken my record there had I been able to put the gears together. Because I was not losing traction.
Make all of the shifts on one run.
Yeah. The only run I made all the shifts was the very last one. I made all the shifts, but it was like a 194. So I went slower making all the shifts as opposed to skipping 3 and 4.
But you basically double clutched all the shifts, right? They were like super slow. Yeah. So your turbos came down, and you had to. Yeah.
Oh, that God, it makes such a difference when you flat foot. Such a difference. I can't get through all the gears in the half mile if I have to lift. Can't do it. So, well, what else? Anything else exciting?
Not
playing around with my 992
in the garage.
Oh, okay. What's the latest with the garage?
Waiting on the stupid fire marshal. Hope he's not a fan because he sucks.
Yeah, he's watching this. Somehow I doubt it. So
he's not. He's a nerd.
Oh, that's funny.
Bunch of nerds.
I can't wait to see the finished garage for sure.
I mean, it's like 97% finished. I'm just waiting on the stupid fire marshal to say okay to what he told us we had to do.
Your contractors are going to forget about this whole thing by the time.
Well, we're on a weekly reminder basis.
Oh, God.
This is where I turn into the problem customer.
Mm-hmm.
Is I feel like I've been patient, because our projected date was by January 1st.
Oh my gosh.
And so like I've been patient because I know it's not entirely the contractor's fault. I wouldn't be super surprised if there was some oversight on the original permitting, and that's why we're having to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm friendly about it still, but I just feel like I need to have that weekly reminder so that they feel a little pressure to finish the job.
Well, just call me. I'll use my hockey coach voice, and I'll come down there and be like, "This needs to get done now."
I don't know, man. Any project I take on, I feel like it's just that last little bit that is so hard to get finished.
Yeah.
And then that's when Taylor the Terrible shows up.
Taylor the Terrible. So Dan, you said you've got the 992 out and about. How much are you driving it?
I've been driving it like a couple times a week, man. I love that car.
Yeah.
It's hilariously stock. I mean, I put air filters and like air inlet pipes or something on it, and I don't think it actually does anything other than make more swooshy swoosh noises, which I like swooshy swoosh noises, right? Like everybody does. So that's a win. And it has the stock exhaust on it with cats and a stock flash. And I have bought a Cobb access port, and the car came flashed with M Engineering, which I paid them another $1,000 to transfer, the tune-up support to me, because they consider it the owner buys it. It doesn't go with the car. Yeah. So I have both of those, and I could be doing things with it. I just really hadn't up until recently. So now I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this thing. I'm paying, the monthly note on it. So may put I don't know if I want to put that titanium exhaust back on it. It's awesome, and it's loud, and it's like really cool. But I also kind of like being invisible.
Mm.
And I don't think.
Wait a minute.
It's a blue 992.
Your Mexico blue what is it, Mexico blue or Riviera?
Shark blue.
Shark. Your Shark blue 992 Turbo S is not invisible.
Well, it's invisible if you're not looking right at it.
Peripheral. No. Can't see it from the side of your eye.
That blue is awesome, and it catches everybody's eye.
But you
might
hear
as well
it.
go big or go home. You might as well have it screaming up and down the street.
Yeah, you're probably right. I should put the exhaust back on it. I don't know. Like, I just enjoy like not sounding like I'm going fast when I'm actually not. You know,
I would just recommend get you somebody to tune it with the Cobb rather than the M Engineering.
I mean, I took a friend's kid out in my neighborhood in my red car in the 997. I never exceeded 21 miles an hour. That was the maximum speed, right?
21?
In my neighborhood,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Just driving around. And my wife yelled at me for driving too fast in the neighborhood when I got in the driveway, and neighbors got upset with me for driving too fast in the neighborhood. And I'm like, I understand that it sounds like it's going fast, but it's only 21 miles an hour. And they totally didn't believe me, and I was totally being responsible. And I had another woman a while back show up at my doorstep screaming at me for driving like a jacknut in the neighborhood, and it wasn't even me. There was another red 991 GT3 that lived like a few blocks over, and I hadn't driven my GT3 in like days. And so, she came up to my doorstep cussing at me and yelling, and I, had to conveniently or carefully explain to her to get whatever it was up her rear end out of it. And I raised my garage enough so that you could see the rear bumper. And I'm like, here, look, touch it. It's cold. This thing hasn't moved in weeks. Like,
wasn't me.
I told her, I said, look, it wasn't me. And if I did know who it was, I wouldn't tell you anyway. So you should leave now. So I don't know. I'm a little, I guess maybe in my old age, I'm a little timid about these, more timid than I was now, or, now maybe than I was like a few years ago, but
yeah. Well, look at us. 7 911s between the three of us.
Is that what it is? Oh my gosh.
What is wrong with us?
But should we talk about how many of them run? Or no, that's probably not.
5 of them run.
I mean, I got 1 out of 3 that's.
Oh, no. Your 930 runs, right?
Yeah, it does. We just still need to tweak the tuning on it as soon as I can get some not wet weather.
If you walk out in the garage and start it, would it start right now?
Yeah.
It runs.
It runs.
It runs.
You know what I did? I bought 2 barrels of the R1 ethanol for the red car.
Ooh.
And then I bought a barrel of VP or 109, MS 109 for the black car.
$16 a gallon.
It was $1,200 for a barrel.
Yeah, I was gonna say
for a barrel though, like 55 gallons.
Yeah, but the ethanol was $700 a barrel.
Ooh, $21, almost $22 a gallon. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't remember MS 109 being that expensive back.
It used to be like
$15,
$16, and I thought that was insane. And yeah, like way back when we first started getting it, it was like $6-7 a gallon.
Yeah, so I told my boy, hey, bring it on over. He dropped it off. I'm like, oh, how much? He's like, $1,200. Like, what?
Yeah,
where's the other one?
Oh, so I'm like, well, okay, I guess.
When I bought that barrel of ethanol, it was like $5.50 or $5.75 a couple of years ago in Kansas. Where did we take it to? Kansas? I don't remember. The thing was never doing that again. It was so heavy we couldn't even get it out of the truck. Oh
yeah. No, this is the guys at AIM have me on that the ethanol 1R or R1, whatever.
Is it 98?
No, I think it's like 116 or something.
Oh, I mean like percent, like 98%.
Oh yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, probably 98%. But I don't want to mess up. I've got a ton of Ignite. But got a bunch of little cans of that. But they said I can run that, on my street map. But they don't want me going balls out on the Ignite.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess it's the 85 1R. 5 gallons, $68. Yeehaw.
So I got the 109 for the black car because it's got 2 maps. It's got high boost and not wastegates. I'm sure the 93 map is probably 20, maybe 21 pounds or something.
I'm guessing you can't run ethanol in it.
No.
Is it stock motor?
No, rods and studs.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's an old build, and it's not like I'm going to go out and do 1 mile pulls on it.
Yeah.
If I wanted to take it to the mile, I would probably upgrade the pistons. Maybe put new rods in it. Because it did 199, I think 198 or something in the mile with the previous owner, but he didn't really run it that hard. And
that's what we were all chasing. What like 20 years ago was that 200 miles in the 200 miles an hour in the mile.
Mm-hmm. And I remember my buddy Ben, had 700, like right on the nose, 700 horsepower, and he hit 200.9 or something. That's about it, right? So I think it makes around 700.
Yeah, 700 was kind of the magic number that people were chasing back then. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all-wheel drive, so I haven't had an all-wheel drive turbo in a long time because my silver one was converted to rear wheel. And the other one I had before that, I converted to rear wheel. So I'm going to leave it just like it is.
I would.
Hey, let me ask you guys. Should I have Bill convert my gearbox to accept the drive shaft?
Oh, to put the front, whatever that front replacement part is, so you can run all-wheel drive with it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It doesn't sound cheap, though.
I mean, now's the time.
I mean, you can't just do that. Then you've got to get a front diff, and you've got to put the front diff in it, and then you need front axles, and then you need to reprogram a bunch of stuff in your ECU. I don't even know how all that works.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool.
What did AIM say?
Oh, they're like, do it. They want me to do it so bad.
I mean, I'd put a 991 turbo front diff in it. I think it fits.
Really?
If you get custom axles, and then the 997 front diff can only do a couple hundred foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
That's all it'll do. Well, there's a center differential too. I don't know how that's going to work out, but so far as I understood it when I was thinking about it before, was if you put the 991 front diff in it, you could put 300 or 400 foot-pounds of torque down out of their front wheels.
Wow.
Which, comparatively speaking to 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, it doesn't sound like a lot, because you're never going to get them to be, 50-50 power split with this much power, unless you do crazy race car, can't even make a turn because your front and rear wheels are locked together kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like some of those underground the early ones maybe, and the DP cars, they did some funky all-wheel drive stuff where the front and the rears were locked together, and you couldn't even make a sharp turn with them, or things would start binding up. So the quality of life wasn't so great for those. But yeah, being able to put 400 foot-pounds down, get to 70-30 power split.
That'd be a game changer.
I mean, traction's kind of always been your problem. And then you get up into the, 120 mile an hour, 130 mile an hour range. You could just shut off the front diff.
Right. I really want the traction in first and second and third gear is really where I need it.
Yeah. Then when you get to fourth, just send all the power to the rear, because it can hold it.
Yeah.
And you don't have the extra drive. I don't know how much extra driveline loss you really lose. I do remember Ryan from AIM telling us a story about this, where he did some real ghetto fabulous fab on his own personal car, the yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally had a wire that was 2 wires that were connected. And when he got above 120 or 130 miles an hour, he pulled the wires apart, which shut off the front diff, and he picked up 3-4 mile an hour and a half by doing that. And he was, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
That's what I remember him saying. That could be partially inaccurate, but
sounds like something he would do.
And we need to make a shout out to the AIM guys and remind them to expediently put things together. Because now that we've been talking about it for 45 minutes, I'm like, okay.
Get on it, boys. Joe and Ryan, let's go. All right, that'll wrap it up for this episode of So You Think a Car is Fast. We'll see you next time.